Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Abdullah Azzam bin Abdul Fatah and I'm a third year student from Kuliah of RKHS. Alright, in this golden opportunity, I will talk about the application of the concept fan to solve a problem. And my proposed title for this presentation is Empower the Implementation of the S.O.P that has been set by the government during COVID-19. And in this presentation, I will talk about the problem that I want to solve and the concept Venn diagram with explanations, and then I will choose idea from the ideas that I proposed with the justifications on it. Alright, next I will talk about the problem that I want to solve. The problem is the spread of the COVID-19 virus is increased every day because the S.O.Ps that has been set by the government cannot be implemented successfully. We have witnessed the spread of COVID-19 all over the world, which has resulted in many deaths, and the cases are increasing every day. If the daily cases of COVID-19 increase dramatically, our country's health facilities will not be able to cope with the high burden, subsequently paralyzing the healthcare system in the country. Therefore, to prevent such a situation from occurring, every individual from all levels of society must comply to the standard operating procedures, or we call it as S.O.Ps, and advisories from the Ministry of Health and the government. And the government has issued some S.O.Ps throughout this COVID season to stop the spread of the disease. However, the spread of the COVID-19 virus remains constantly increasing because the S.O.Ps that has been set by the government cannot be implemented successfully, such as the health precautionary measures are not fully implemented, and then the social distancing cannot be practiced successfully, and less awareness of the S.O.Ps that has been set by the government. So I will explain on how to solve this problem by applying the concept fan. Alright, next I will move on to the application of concept fan to solve the problem. Basically, concept fan is a technique used to generate ideas to solve or overcome a problem, and it consists of an objective, direction, concepts, and ideas. So let's look at my concept fan diagram. First of all is objective. Objective is the main purpose or the main goal that we want to achieve. In this case, my problem is the spread of COVID-19 has increased every day because the S.O.Ps cannot be implemented successfully. So the main purpose or the objective that I want to achieve here is to stop the spread of COVID-19 pandemic. And secondly is the direction. Direction is about how can I achieve the objective. And here I come up with a direction to achieve this objective, which is empower the implementation of the S.O.Ps that has been set by the government during COVID-19. And as I said before, the S.O.Ps have been issued by the government, but its implementation cannot be fully implemented. So what can we do is empower the implementation of the S.O.P. And then concepts and ideas. Concept is a framework to produce ideas. It is about how can we achieve the direction that we have said before. An idea is about how to achieve the concept and how to find ways to put the concepts to work, and they are more specific and practical. So I come up with 2 concepts and 6 ideas here. Let's look at the first concept. My first concept is empower the close contact reduction. One of the ways to achieve the direction or to empower the S.O.P is empower the close contact reduction. As we all know, the disease is very contagious through close contact. That is why the government asked everyone to avoid the 3 C's: avoid crowded places, confined spaces, and close conversations. So, safe social distancing needs to be practiced at all times of at least 1 meter away from others. But the society still does not comply with this rule, and there are still many who gather in one place, ignoring the social distancing. So what must we do is empowering this close contact reduction. So there are 3 ideas that I figured it out to achieve this concept. First, my first idea is encourage online shopping. Among the places that are often crowded are shopping malls, such as shoe stores, clothing stores, and many others. People do not care about the social distancing in such shopping places because they are busy with their shopping. So, among the ways to prevent this from happening is to encourage online shopping. So the government should promote and encourage sellers to sell their goods online and encourage people to buy on online platforms such as Shopee, Lazada, and many others. Alright, my second idea is discourage the use of public transport. The use of public transport also causes a lot of close contact because sometimes the space inside it becomes narrow due to many people. So indirectly, the 1 meter social distancing cannot be practiced in that time. So the government must discourage people from using the public transports to avoid the spread of this disease. And then the second idea for this concept is impose higher compounds or higher fines for those who do not maintain the social distancing. Previously, fines have been imposed on those who break the S.O.Ps or who do not maintain the social distancing, but we can say there are still many who are stubborn and ignoring these fines. This proves that the fines imposed did not make them repent and follow the rules. Then a higher fines should be imposed so that they are more afraid to commit this offense. Alright, next I will move on to the second concept, which is empower the precautionary measures. The movement control order that have been implemented throughout the country does not prohibit the community from leaving the house in total, but they are advised not to leave the house or to go out except for important matters only. So the government has issued some precautionary measures that everyone should pay attention to whenever they want to go outside. However, these measures still cannot be implemented perfectly, so it needs to be empowered. And here I come up with 3 ideas on how to empower these precautionary measures. My first idea is sell face masks in every public place. Face masks act as a physical barrier to protect ourselves and others from virus and bacterial particulates. And many people unknowingly infect others by going out and spreading germs by coughing or touching others. So it should be worn anytime you are in public or when people are nearby. But there are still many people who do not wear face masks, and some give the reason they run out of masks. And free distribution of masks might be difficult because it is costly. Then it should be sold in every place that is often visited by many people. And then my second idea is provide free hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer is important because it can stop the spread of germs, and it should be used at all times when we go out and we do not know who use it and who does not. So the best way to remind and ensure people to use hand sanitizer is by provide free hand sanitizer, making it easily accessible and always within sight. And it is important to place hand sanitizer near and around high touch surfaces and communal areas, such as at all entrances and exits in places that are always visited by many people. Alright, the second idea is ensure QR code and the temperature scanning is used everywhere. The World Health Organization (WHO) public health strategy in managing any outbreak is trace, test and isolate. Therefore, there is a need to continue with the QR code like My Sejahtera, scanning every time people enter a businesses or public premises. And it is very important because it is used for contact tracing network, and it helps in narrowing down the cohort that needs to be tested, while enabling the frontliners to estimate impending outbreaks from the density and the flow of population movement. This way, those who are exposed to COVID-19 can be easily traced and isolated promptly, thus helping to break the transmission chain and flatten the curve. So this QR code and the temperature scanner should be put and used everywhere to trace the COVID-19. And those are all 6 ideas, 2 concepts that I figured it out to solve the problem. But which idea that I want to be implemented, I will explain it in the next slide. Alright, next I will talk about the selected idea from the 6 ideas that I want to implement with justification. My selected idea is to impose a higher fine to those who do not maintain the social distancing. Alright, my first justification is because many people are still stubborn. Fines have been imposed before, but still many are stubborn and break the rules, do not maintain the social distancing, and still do not take the precautionary measures seriously. And some even pay fines more than once. This proves that the fines imposed still cannot scare them and make them repent of the action, and they are still stubborn to follow the rules. Everyone loves money, and they must be afraid their money will be wasted to pay a fine. But if the amount of fine imposed is small, it definitely makes them feel okay to pay it, and willing to break the rules because they feel that they can still bear the burden of the fine imposed and are not afraid of to pay it. But if the compounds imposed are higher, they probably think twice to break the rules because they cannot afford to pay it, or they afraid of losing too much money on paying the compound. So they will follow the rules, they will maintain the social distancing, and they will take the precautionary measures seriously. And my second justification is because it can be applied and implemented to everyone. We see that the use of public transport is needed by most of people because there are people who do not have their own vehicle and cannot even afford to buy it. And secondly, people cannot be pressured to buy their goods online because there are goods that they need immediately, and most of senior citizens do not know how to buy goods online. But fines can be imposed on everyone regardless of age, and everyone will definitely be wary of it. So the imposition of higher fines will contribute the most in implementing it because everyone has the ability and choice to maintain the social distancing, and with this imposition of higher fine, they will definitely choose to maintain it because everyone loves their money and they do not want to waste it on paying the compounds. Alright, the third justification is because it can be implemented immediately. The imposition of fines can be implemented immediately as it does not take long time to explain it to the people, apply it, and do not go through many procedures to implement it. And the society will also often be sensitive to the fines that the government will impose on those who violate the law because they are afraid and do not want to pay such high fines. Therefore, news of the imposition of fines is more easily spread among the community, so most people will know about it. So from this justification, I can conclude that the imposition of higher fines is the best idea to achieve the main objective and the direction that I have said before. That's all from me. I hope the spread of this virus can be stopped immediately and eradicated by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that we can live as usual. Thank you for listening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.